Hi, George here. And today we're going to be adding a song, a custom song, onto a music disk here inside of Minecraft. And the easiest place to find a music disk is in one of these dungeons. Very easy to find these things. There's lots of dungeons around. You can also get music disks in the ancient city, but that's real dangerous. Or over in the woodland mansion, also pretty dangerous. There are other ways of getting music disks, and I have a whole video about how to do that. But for now, let's just go ahead and grab an easy one. There should be something in one of those two chests. Let's take a look at that. And we'll start over here, see what we get. Okay, nothing in here. We'll leave that one alone, although I'll take that apple. I like that. Okay. And let's go over here, check this out. And there we go. Okay, we have the cat disk right there. We'll use the cat disk. I also have the 13 down here. These are the two that are most easily found inside of the dungeons. So you'll almost always find one of those two in most dungeons anyway. Let's just grab that torch while I'm at it. Okay, we have our custom disk. Let's go ahead now and go back up on top. There we go. Let's go over here to a jukebox I have set up just outside of my main base right there. There we go. A couple of speakers, of course, you need those. And here's a jukebox. Now, as I mentioned, the two main disks you can easily find in the game are 13 and cat, and they're right here. Now, there are three things that you can change on this. One, of course, is the music itself. But let's go ahead and play this. Let's just take that back out again. And when I put this in, notice we can see the name right there on the screen. Also, if I roll over down below here, you can see the name on the disk that just says music disk in there. Nothing very exciting about that. Just take that back out again. We're in creative, so we get a whole lot of these duplicates happening when you do that. So we have names showing up twice over here. We, of course, have down here in the inventory image of the disk right there. In the image right here, we can change that image if we want to. So we'll be changing all three of those things so that everything kind of matches together. Now, most of this project takes place outside of Minecraft. So I'll switch over to my desktop and we'll begin gathering all the pieces that we need to make a custom music disk. Here we are on my desktop, and I have a folder here in my C drive. That's a C drive, and I have a folder here. I just called it pack. I just made this as a new folder, and I'll be putting everything inside of here that we'll be using to build our resource pack for this custom music disk. We'll be needing a few things, of course. We need our new music file, and I have one here. I just grabbed this off of the YouTube music library so that I don't need to worry about copyright or any of those things. So this one's safe for me to use. And then you want a pack.png file, pack.png. This can be anything that you want. It's just a square image. This is 16 by 16, so a very small square image. But this only shows up in the list where you choose which packs are installed in the game. So it's not really a critical image. I'll show you where you can get the default one without any problem. And we also need a pack.mcmeta file right here. Now, they used to include this file inside of the jar file, but they no longer do. So you either have to code your own or do the easy way, which is just to download it from my website. I always put the current versions up there on the website. Let's go ahead and take a look at that, and we'll grab the download. And that's right here. I'll put this link in the description, and then we'll scroll down here just a little ways. Here's the actual code if you want to just copy that out, or the easy way is just to download right there, download this zip file. Go ahead, we'll do that one. I'll click on that, and I'll download that into the same pack folder. Choose Save. Okay, that's done. If you scroll down just a little bit, here are the standard pack.png files. Here's the default one, and this one's at twice the size, so it's 4 times bigger. It's twice the width, twice the height. To get one of these things, just right-click on this and then Save Image As, and just save that down to your hard drive. Either use this one here if you want to, or you can put your own picture in here. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you want. Okay, that's taken care of. Let's get this out of the way. And there is that zip file. Now this just has the pack.mcmeta in it. I'll delete this one here. And let's take a look at this. Now, easy way just to right click on this and let's open in a new tab. Here's the file. Let's just right click and copy. Go back over here, right click and paste. And there it is. And you can delete this if you want to. Bring this back up again. Notepad++ is what I like to use. Let's double check this. Pack format 15 is correct for 121. And let's just change this to custom disk. Now the reason why you want to have a name here is because this is how to identify the pack when you have all your list of different packs inside the game. I'll make this even more specific. I'll call it custom disk 121. Choose Save right there. And that's all set to go. Now my pack.png here is just a little icon of my space character here, my spacesuit. Now we also need to get a jar file. And in the jar file, we're going to be getting a language file, and that's where we'll be changing the name of the disk and what shows up when the disk is placed into the jukebox. So for that, let's open up the launcher, and I have mine right here. Now go in where it says installations, go into that, and then latest release in that folder right here. Click on that folder, and this opens up the Minecraft folder. And if we scroll down a little bit, and you have versions right there. You want the versions folder, open this up. In here are all of the different versions installed or have been installed on your system. Let's just get this out of the way. There we go. And we're in 121, so I'll scroll down. We'll find that, and that's right there. Now, ignore the ones that have stuff like pre on the beginning of it or these things. These are all the pre-release files, things like that. You want the one that just says 121. Open this up, and there are two files in here. One's a jar file, and one's a JSON file. Now, this next step is very important. If you don't see the .jar and .json, and you just see two files with nothing else, then you need to show that extension. Now, in Windows 11, go up here to View, come down to Show, and right here, File Name Extensions. If you're inside of Windows 10, then go up to the top tab bar up there, click on the View tab, and put a check mark next to File Name Extensions. Same thing. And then you should be seeing these in here. You need to have that extension showing. Very important to do that. Okay, I'm just going to right drag it over here and copy. Don't move it. Don't create a shortcut. Make sure you copy over here, and there it is. Okay, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Now we need to go inside of this and get the files that we need. The easy way is just to click into the name here. Click once, click a second time. You can then type over that .jar, backspace, and type in zip. Choose yes. It's now a zip folder. That's all it was in the first place. It's just a different name for a zip folder. I want to open this in a new window. So right click on this and let's open this in a new window. We don't need everything in here, just a few things. So there's no reason to unzip this thing. We'll just leave it zipped and grab out what we want. So we have assets folder, go in this one, into the Minecraft folder. And then right here, this lang folder, we need this whole lang folder. Inside of this is the US English JSON file. If you're in America doing this, most of my viewers are in America, so I'm doing this for you. If you're in a different country, you'll see a different file here. Same exact steps. Okay, let's take this, right drag it over here and copy. There we go. There's our lang file. So we need that one. We also need something out of the textures. This is where the image for the disk is hiding. And then come down here to item right here. And in here, scroll way down to music. Here's our music disks. And you want the one that says cat. We're changing the cat song here. So music disk cat. And then right drag it over here and copy. And there's that image. It's just that little disk image right there. We'll be changing this to something different. Okay, now notice up here, we have this folder structure, assets, Minecraft, textures, item. We need to recreate this folder structure and add some other things to it. So let's go over here. Just pull this down just a little bit. I'll bring this up so we can see that line right there. Make a new folder. There it is. And we'll call this one assets. And that matches that right there, assets. Okay, we need Minecraft inside of assets. So I'll go into assets, new folder. And this one is Minecraft. There we go. Inside of this one, new folder. This is textures. There we go. Inside of textures, new folder. And this one is item. Okay, and back out again to our pack folder. And that's where this thing goes once we change the look. It goes inside of that folder. We also need to have the lang folder in the right place. So I'm just going to drag this in here to assets and then drag it into Minecraft. And that's the right place for the lang folder. Now at this point, we have lang and textures. We also need to have another folder in here to place our music disk. And this one's real easy. Click on new folder. And the first one here is sounds. There we go. Let's go inside of sounds and then new folder and records. And our new record will go inside of here once we have that set to go. Okay, so there's all of our basic stuff that we need. The next thing we need to do now is to work with our song. Now this has to be an OGG file, .ogg, and it has to be named cat, so it's cat.ogg. Now the .ogg part, it has to be converted to that OGG. Don't try just changing the name. Don't do the clicking here on the MP3 and change it to OGG. That will not work. It'll still be an MP3 file. So it has to be converted to OGG. So we'll take care of that in just a second. Now the program that I like to use to convert these things is Audacity. And that's just because it's free. I'll put a link for the download for that in the description. You can go ahead and download that program. It's my favorite sound editing program, except for the expensive one that I get from Adobe. But aside from that, it's a great program. It does almost everything you'd need for sound editing anyway. Well worth the cost of free. Let's open this thing up in Audacity. And there it goes. Close that down. And here's Audacity. I'll also close this down. I'm done with that. Now, the easy way to get a file in here is just to take your file and drag and drop. So I'll do that. Here's our file. Drag and drop. Load it in. And there we go. Now, notice that this is a stereo file. For this to work properly inside of Minecraft, this has to be in mono. So we're going to be changing this to a mono file. Go up to Tracks, come down to Mix, and Stereo down to mono. There it is. You want to see just that one track. So that's taken care of. Now notice that this track here is a little over 7 minutes long. Now there's one problem currently with doing these custom discs inside of Minecraft. I haven't found a solution for it yet. This recently showed up. And that's that whatever you put in here is only going to play as long as the length of the original disc. So this is going to cut off at that point. Most of these things are around 2 minutes. So once I figure that out, it's in the programming hidden someplace. But if I can find that, I'll do a video about how to fix that. Right now, we're stuck with that length limitation. It's still better than listening to the stuff that comes with Minecraft. So we have our sound down here to just a mono. We now need to convert this to the .ogg format. You do that up here under File. Come down to Export. Export as OGG right here. And here's our folder again. Now we also need to have this named cat. So I'll change the name right now. So save us a little bit of time later on. Cat, like that. This is the pack folder. Let's place this in the right location at the same time. So back into Assets, into Minecraft, come down to Sounds and Records, and it goes right here. Choose Save, choose OK. Let that do that conversion. And there we go. We're done with that. We can now close out Audacity and go back to our working folder, which is right here. Let's double check. Assets, Minecraft, Sounds, Records, and there we go. cat.ogg. Just increase my view here. Now this cone shape thing, this just is because I have the VLC media player on my computer as my audio player. If you use a different media player, you'll have a different icon here. Don't worry about that at all. Okay, so back up here to the pack folder. So we have our sound all taken care of. That's done over here. We need to change the image here for our disk. And we also need to edit the lang file. Let's take care of the lang file first. So inside of Assets, Minecraft, inside of lang, you want your language file. Again, I'm opening this thing up inside of Notepad++. Bring this up. Here we go. And let's do a search for music disk. So find, and it's music underscore disk. That would take you right to the right location. And here it is. So music disk section. Now these are numbered and named. Here is the cat disk. We have two things in here, cat and cat.dsc for description. The cat, where it says music disk, this is what shows inside of the inventory. When you roll over the icon in the inventory, it says music disk. That's what shows right down here. Now our new song that I found is called Catfish Broil. So I'm just going to rename this one Catfish Broil. Like that. I'll then copy this, right click and copy. And I'll change it right down here as well. So it says the same thing right down here. Right click and paste. So now it says Catfish Broil on both of those two spots. So it's going to see the right name inside of the inventory. It's also going to see the right name down here when we drop it into the jukebox. That's what this one down here says DESC or for description. That's what shows at the jukebox. So inventory and jukebox. That's taken care of. Let's save that. And that's been renamed. We'll back out here again to pack. Now on the music disk, you can use any editor that you want to use to edit this thing. It doesn't matter. It's a real basic file, just a little PNG file, real small, 16 by 16. Now I want a different image for this, so I'll go to a different website, and that's Pixabay, one of my favorites. Free images in here. Let's go over here, change this to illustrations, and let's just type in disk and a whole bunch of disks. Let's just see what we have. We'll just use that one. That's kind of fun, real obvious what that is. I'll click on this. Here's our download page. Now this needs to be real small. So grab the smallest download they have, which is 616 by 640. It's way too big. We'll need it only a tenth of that size, but we'll fix that in just a bit. Choose download and then save this back into the same folder location again. Right there, choose save, and that's done. Close this down. And here's our image. Now you can edit this thing in any image editor that you want. It doesn't make any difference. It just has to be a PNG file. You can see right here. I like using a free image editor for these kind of things. It's called paint.net. I'll put a link for that in the description if you want to go ahead and download that again. There's a free version of that. Double click on this. This will then open it up inside of paint.net. Here we go. Now I want to make our canvas size match so it is perfectly square. So let's go up here to image, come down to canvas size. And right now the width is at 616, the height is 640. I want these both to say 640, so I'll just type that in here. So now both 640, which means the image is square. I have the anchor here set for middle, choose OK, and it's now perfectly square. But it did give us these 2 white lines. We need to get rid of these white lines or add more white in here. It's up to you which way you want to go with that. I think I'll just erase this. Now grab our zoom tool here, magnifying glass. I'll zoom in. And let's grab our eraser, which is right here. It's pretty small. Let's bring our size up on this to about a 15. See how that should do it. I'm just going to erase these 2 white lines and get rid of these things. We don't need that. Hold the space bar down. You can then move your image around. Now, when you're erasing in here, make sure you don't erase over the disk image. So be real careful right in through here. This is why I zoomed in so much. I don't want to hit that disk image. There we go. Okay. And just continue on down and finish off this erasure. Make sure you get this good. This is important. If you leave anything in here at all, it's going to be showing up inside of Minecraft. So I'm just going to go through and just go back and make sure I get everything in there. Just double check this edge. Like that, real fast and easy. And then go and do the exact same thing on the right-hand side. Again, hold the space bar down. I can pull this over. And let's get rid of this white line on this side. There we go, and just continue erasing that on down. I'll make sure I get this whole thing here as I go so I don't have to go back and do it again. Let go, and then spacebar to move, and that's looking good. Finish this off. We then need to resize this whole thing down so it's just at 64 by 64, much, much smaller, because that's going to fit in the game better. This size is just way too big for the game. Okay, go back to our zoom tool here. Let's do Control 0, and I'll just move our image here back into the middle of the screen. There we go. Let's now resize this down a lot smaller. That's image. Come down here to resize. I want to maintain the aspect ratio. That's fine. I'll just type in 64. I'll leave everything else at their defaults. My resampling is set for nearest neighbor. This will keep your hardest edges on here. Choose OK. And there we go. It's a lot smaller. And that's the size it's going to be inside of the game. So that's all set to go. When I need to save this back over to our pack folder, file, come down to save as. We're saving it as a PNG file, and it needs to be this name here. So I'm going to click on that. That gives me that name, and then we'll put it in the right place. Go into Assets, Minecraft, Textures, and item. It goes right here. Choose Save, and then choose OK. And that's now done. We now have our image finished. Let's get this out of the way. So really, at this point, the whole thing is done. We now just need to compile it and put it into the game. Now for compiling this, we want to make this a zip file. Hold the control key down. I want that pack.mcmeta and our pack.png file right here. Right click and compress to zip file. Again, I'm inside of Windows 11. In Windows 10, it's just right click and zip. Or at the top of the window, just click on the share tab and choose zip. Same thing. Compress to zip. There we go. Let's just give this a name that we can find easily. I'll call it custom record, and we're all set to put this into the game. So for that, let's bring back up the launcher, which is right here. We're still inside of installations. Let's go over here, latest release, click on that folder icon, brings back up the Minecraft folder. I'll put this right here, and then scroll down a little bit. On the resource packs folder, bring this up. Here we go. And then just take this zip and just drag it over here and drop it in. It's all set to go. Okay, we now have this thing inside the game. We can launch the game and see how that works. Make sure the game is not running when you do this. If your game is open, close the game down, and then go ahead and click on play. Now, the reason for that is the game reads in those resource packs when it's loading up. So if your game is running, it's not going to see the new resource pack. So close the game down. Okay. And there we go. There's our main screen. And there's my custom loading screen. I did videos about this a long time ago. I'll do new videos on how I did the custom colors in here in the custom loading screen in just a little bit, maybe over in September. Okay. Went to single player. There's my main world. That's what we're doing this in. Okay, there's the trader. Here we are at the right location. Now you're not seeing anything right now because we haven't activated the resource pack. So I'll hit the escape key, go into options, resource packs, and here's our new pack. There's my icon right there. You can kind of see it. Here's our new pack. Click on the arrow, because over here right-hand side, there's the name that we gave the actual zip file. Here is the name that we set up inside of the pack.mcmeta file. That's that name there. Choose Done. Let that load in. It reads the resource pack. Choose Done again. Back to game. And notice that the image has changed here. It's now showing us that music disc that we chose. Don't worry about the cat down here. I just wrote that onto the sign. If I go down here below and we notice that there it is, the disc now says catfish broil. So there's our diorite. There's the catfish broil. That's working. You can see it in our hand right here. If I change my view, you can see there it is. There is the disc in my hand. There's the top side and bottom side. So I have that. That's working correctly. And let's put it into the jukebox and make sure that it says the right name when we put it into the jukebox. So right click. There it is. Catfish broil. That's correct. So it's saying the name everywhere it should. And there it is, playing the new song. I actually kind of like this one. It's kind of funky, kind of southeast sounding. Louisiana maybe, who knows. Good enough, just pull that out. And there's a disc just flying there in space, again with our new image on it. New Minecraft disc. Now if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Really important. I'm a long ways off from getting 100,000 subscribers. I'm trying to hit that mark. I need all the subscribers I can get. Let me show you my target up here. I'll ignore this guy, just get around him. We go way back here, back past this scarecrow. Here's my inspiration. There we go. There's my giant size play button. I really want to get one of these things, but for this, I have to have 100,000 subscribers. I'm only about 72,000 right now. So once I get that, I'll put my name up there. Right now, this is just kind of a wish. Someday I'll get that, and you can help by clicking on that subscribe button, telling your friends to subscribe, and we can get here pretty fast. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.